guys, it's MOESODA here, and welcome to the final episode of the Promised Neverland. You guys, they finally did it. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Okay. Where do we start? Where do we start? How am I supposed to structure this video? There are so many things to talk about. How do I even begin? Well, let's start with Phil, because last episode it kind of seemed like he could be Isabella's informant, or that he was sticking behind to keep either watch on the house, or if when he grew up he could persuade the little children to believing Isabella instead of any of the other rumors that would come up. You know, he's there to hang out, to protect the house, to make sure all of the little kids don't find out the secret, that kind of thing. But that's totally wrong. He was not Team Isabella, but Team Observe and Report. Team continue the legacy for the children that are escaping, or for the future babies, you know what I mean. Basically, they told him about the secret and he was super upset, but he believed them because of all the things that happened after each person left. It seemed like Emma and Norman and Ray got angrier and weirder the more the people left the orphanage. So he kind of assumed that something was up, he just didn't know what. He actually suggested that he stay behind so that he can tell everybody else when they get older about the secret, basically so he can protect the little kids until they're ready to know the secret. Which brings me to the next string that they tied up in this episode. Only the 5-year-olds and older went with the people who are going to escape, because Emma believed that if she told them at too young of an age, they wouldn't understand, or they wouldn't be old enough to like make the decision that needed to be made. You know, their brains kind of aren't developed enough. They're pretty much just like too young to understand what's actually going on, and they might not believe her, and it might just cause more trouble than it's worth. So she told Phil, and Phil is going to stay behind so that he can gauge when people are ready to know. And then Emma wants to come back within 2 years because she figures that, you know, the production on the plant is going to stop, or it's going to come down to a slow halt, if you will, because all of this top tier merchandise just like escaped, and she believes that they're not going to be producing, they're going to want to produce high quality rather than quantity. So she's assuming that they're going to have 2 years to figure out how they're going to get everybody else out. So Emma didn't escape with everyone like she originally planned, which I think is a nice little tie-up, a nice little touch to the story, because it was kind of crazy to think that she was going to take everybody, unwilling or willing or whatever. That was kind of crazy, especially when, you know, some of them can't walk. You know, they got one little baby. How are you gonna cross the cliff with the baby? I don't know. That was crazy. I didn't think it was gonna work. And Emma came to her senses, and she realized that, yes, while I can't take all of my family right now, I will come back for them. Which is also kind of crazy, because like, what happens if, you know, you die? I mean, then you can't come get your family. Or what happens if you can't survive on the outside? You need to come back. Like, that's a lot of what ifs there, Emma. So I'm glad that she's gonna go figure out how to live on their own, and then take the children, the other little babies, with them later. I'm not exactly sure how Emma plans to come back into the orphanage and take the other little babies, because I feel like a lot of planning needs to be done while you're in the orphanage, because you don't know, you know, they know Isabella, they grew up with Isabella, but what happens if, like, you know, Isabella gets fired, or fired/killed because, you know, she let 15 merchandises leave the plant? What if they had a new person who's like way on their game, like even meaner than Isabella, like does not care, obviously, because, you know, Isabella, I feel like, had a level of caring that she did, even in her like weird crazy way. She cared a little bit for these kids. But what if they get someone that doesn't care at all? You know what I mean? Like, that would be crazy. They'd just be like whipping people and stuff. Ugh, that would be crazy. And then how would you deal with that? You wouldn't know how to deal with that because you hadn't been there for 2 years. So maybe she'll set up some kind of like communication system with Phil somehow. Maybe they already have that in plan. I don't know. Plus, if she's gonna come back in 2 years, what happens if they bring in more babies? And more babies. They're like, okay, well, we need babies right now because 15 people just escaped and we don't have that, and we need that because that was like the quota that we need to fill. And so they bring in all these kids. Is she gonna take the kid? is she gonna take the kids that like aren't her family? Because she said she was planning on taking all the kids from all of the plants, which is kind of crazy. Because if they're all coming in at a small age, then it's like a kind of like a revolving door of needing to save people, because you know the little tiny babies need to grow up a little bit before they can get told the secret and want to escape, and then like new babies are probably being brought in, so it's kind of just like a revolving door. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those stories that could continue on forever until they get enough like people on the outside that they can overtake the demon army or whatever. I don't know. That's what it sounds like. I don't know. That's a lot to think about, because yeah, is she gonna take all of the babies all the time forever and ever? She's just gonna come back every 2 years, and you know, they're gonna know that she's coming back every 2 years, because every 2 years she comes back, you know? That's a lot. That's wonder how they're gonna plan that. That would be interesting to watch. So yeah, I'd like to see how they're going to resolve all the kids that come into the orphanage in Emma's absence. Are they technically still her family? Are they not technically her family? Is she gonna save them? Is she not gonna save them? Gilda also brings this up in this episode that, you know, what about we're saving, you know, 15 of the people that we know, but what about all of the kids on all of the other farms? Are we still gonna save them? Like, I feel bad for them because, you know, they just keep getting shipped out. And what about all the kids on the other farms? Gilda feels bad. I feel like Emma kind of like forgot that there were other kids on other farms because she was so focused on getting her friends and her family out of this farm. I feel like she's also forgetting that like kids are gonna be coming in when she's gone that she doesn't know. So like, how is she gonna deal with that? Donna and Gilda for the motherfucking win this episode. Oh my gosh. Coming in from the bottom, now we're here. I definitely underestimated Donna and Gilda in the beginning because their personalities seemed pretty like shy. They weren't emotionally ready to handle a lot of the things that were happening, and in this last 2 episodes, they've really like come into their own. Donna and Gilda basically took everything on themselves. So they took on the training for getting over the cliff and for getting all of the little kids over the cliff and through the zip line and stuff like that. They also took on gathering all of the supplies and telling all of the children. That's something that I didn't even think about, like, because I assumed that Emma would not tell everyone, I guess, because I feel like if she told them, they might like lead Isabella to believe that they know, and they didn't want that. So I would assume that they wouldn't tell, but Donna and Gilda were the ones that would pull everybody aside, figure out if they needed to be told or not, and then if they felt like they were ready, they would tell them, and you know, then they would begin training. And I get that Emma and Ray needed to pretend to be mourning for Norman's sake, and so that Isabella would focus more on them instead of Donna and Gilda and all the other kids. But Donna and Gilda, you really stepped up your game. I don't take back what I said, because I said it because I didn't know anything about you. But now that I know some stuff about you, like, heck yes. Those are, yeah. I like you guys, okay? Yes, I like you guys, okay? Okay. I think you stepped up your game this episode, you know? I mean, it's okay to be shy and timid and stuff like that, but you stepped up your game when it counted, and that's all I needed. And they did not actually make it to the bridge, which I thought was kind of crazy, because I thought that was the only way. You give us a little bit of the information so that you can throw us off the scent that there's no possible other way except for the bridge, but then there is. Okay, whatever. So they don't make it to the bridge. They find this area of the outside of the cliff. How do you even say that? So they find this area that's closer to the cliff than most of the other areas outside of the wall cliff thing. And Dawn throws a little rope over there, a little zip line action. They start sending some kids over through the coat hangers on a zip line, and everything is going super well. And because they are not towards the cliff, towards the bridge, or anywhere near like high security, it's hard for them to be detected that they're going that way. And even Isabella thinks that, you know, they're obviously going to the bridge. They figured it out. But then she realizes that, you know, nobody's caught them yet and they should have been caught. So then she goes after them because she's like, excuse me, I know exactly where I think that they are. And at least for a few minutes, they send a lot of the kids over. I think Emma is the last kid to go over. But they actually pulled off the escape, you guys. Like, I am so excited. I have been waiting for this since the 3rd episode, okay? I'm like, when are they escaping? When are they escaping? Like, can they escape already? Like, okay, I get it. They need a lot of planning, but like, can they escape already? And they took more kids than I expected to. I kind of only expected them to take Don and Gilda, and then obviously Emma, Norman, and Ray, if they were all together in one piece, you know what I mean? There was a moment when I thought that Isabella was gonna kill Emma, like she's gonna dive after her. She's just like, I'm getting you. But instead it flashed back to Isabella's life in her farm, in her orphanage, with her friends and growing up, and the decisions that she made to get herself to the point where she is standing on the cliff watching her children break free, I guess, is what you would call it. And I feel like the flashback was there so that you kind of feel a little empathy, a little sympathy for Isabella. They're trying to give you some understanding on why she made the decisions that she made, especially with becoming a mom and the children that she's sent off already, and even like how she came to be a mom. That kind of did the opposite for me. I kind of like really hated her. I kind of hated her even more because I just like, I understand why she did it. Like, I understand the decisions, the reasoning behind her decisions, but I wouldn't make those decisions. So like, I'm just like, you could have not done it. You could have done exactly what Emma is doing and escape, but instead you chose not to. You chose the life that you have, and these are the things and the consequences to your actions, and you know, karma's a big old, you know what I mean? The fact that she sent off so many kids, you know, to be eaten, like, I kind of don't feel, like, I don't feel bad for you, like, at all, because like, karma, hello. Her reason that she says at the end is because she wanted to outlive everyone, and I like, not really the best reason for killing tons of children, like not even a little bit. So like, what? Not a good enough reason, okay? Like, don't feel sorry for you. You should just jump off this cliff because you're gonna get fired or killed anyway. Like, especially because like, she was in the position that Emma and Norman and Ray are in. And she knows how it feels. She knows how angry and how sad and how like scared these kids are, and she just like does it anyway. She sends kids to shipment anyway. Like, you know how they feel, and you're going to do that to them. No. No. That's the exact thing that made you upset when you were little, and you're doing it to other people all the time for your job to stay alive. Like, no. She really believes that these kids are her children. Like, they're not your children, and if you actually cared for these children, you would try to do something about the system, you know, not send kids off to shipment when you know exactly what is going to happen and what they're going to do, and especially at the lengths that you take to have them shipped. She breaks Emma's leg to stop her from escaping. I mean, it obviously didn't, but you're gonna hurt these children so that you can ship them out? No, you don't get to care about them. All you care about is yourself and how long you live and if you do well with the plant. Oh, hey, and also, Ray is Isabella's actual child. What? 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 What is this show? Like, what is this show? Can someone please tell me what the show? You are going to ship out your own child? I can't possibly humanize this character at all. At all. I don't think an actual human person would do that to children, especially ones that are that he's like her actual child. You're gonna send him to shipment? What? 0% of flashback or character development for Isabella would ever make me feel sorry for her. Ever. Never, ever. Not at all. I'm getting super agitated just even talking about it because like, what? Also, I have like a quick aside. where are all the fathers? Like, how are these little babies even being born? It seems like the mothers carry a child and then they take it to the orphanage with them. I'm so unclear about the logistics of how these people are even being born. Please help me. Someone. Norman makes his last appearance in this episode. I'm so glad that Emma and Ray both got their ending with Norman, because Norman was a big part of the kids' lives and the plan to escape in general. You know, he was the one that pushed everyone for escaping and telling Ray. It's just very satisfying to know that each of them got their own moment, even if it wasn't like actually Norman, but Norman was there in spirit. He gets to see everyone escape. That moment brought the entire series together for me. It kind of just like makes it feel like Norman is escaping with everybody, even though he didn't. I'm getting choked up about this. Like, that was such a nice moment in the series. Like, probably the most compelling moment. It felt like the arc of them escaping is like finally closed and everyone has closure. And it was just a really nice moment and I enjoyed it very much. Now that is how you tie up a loose end. I am slightly annoyed that literally like moments after I finished watching the last episode, the second season was announced for 2020, because like, I mean, obviously there's a ton of the manga that hasn't been adapted yet, so they can just like seamlessly start up a new season. Well, I don't feel like it's necessary for us to know what's going to happen after they've escaped. The storyline in these 12 episodes has been completed. I feel like I'm very content with the last episode and the final goodbye and, you know, all of the kids escaping. And while I really would like to see Isabella get her comeuppance, you know what I mean? And I would really love to see these kids try and survive on the outside, maybe like have to battle demons or something. I don't feel like for the 12 episodes that we've seen thus far that there needs to be any more. And yes, I do know I could just go read the manga, but I'm not gonna, okay? I'm not gonna, okay? I'm gonna wait for the second season. And I will probably do a full-on review, my thoughts after everything has ended, you know, once it all settles into my brain. If you've been following along with me on this journey of the Promised Neverland, thank you guys so much. This was such a crazy series for me to film, edit, and upload weekly, and then also react to anime that's airing right now. I'm glad I picked this one because this anime was like literally right up my alley. Like, I love this kind of anime. I know I complained about the characters a little bit in the beginning, but I really did enjoy this series. If you've been following along with me, or if you've just been watching The Promised Neverland on your own, let me know what you guys have thought of this series as a whole. You know, which episode was your favorite episode, which character is your favorite character. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. I'm interested to check it out. You know, I made, you know, 12 videos about The Promised Neverland, so I'm pretty invested in this series. I really enjoyed making these videos for you guys, and I think that's it for this video. Subscribe to my channel for everything anime, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!